Bobby shook his head no. "She didn't just do that," he said. His friend Monkey, his mom called him Mikey, said, "Bro, we just saw her. She totally did." Bobby folded his arms tighter across his scrawny chest and said it again. "Nope. No way she just did it. No way no Frail just owned that whole staircase." Monkey laughed and punched him on the arm hard enough to hurt. "Bro," Monkey started every sentence this way, "you're just mad she can do it and you can't." Bobby said, "You can't do it either." "Bro, nobody can do it, but she just did." Bobby snatched up his skateboard and stomped back to the starting spot, where the sidewalk hooked around to the left in front of E-Complex. He turned around, the nose of his board in his right hand, the tail poised on the sidewalk. In front of him lay the short stretch of straight sidewalk before the longest rail within skating distance of his house. They used to call it the Grail, as in Holy Grail, because no one in Hathimont Middle School had ever owned it, top to bottom. Even the high schoolers only dealt this rail the death blow a couple times, and yet, though he couldn't believe it and definitely couldn't admit it, this Frail, this old woman, had just taken that case top to bottom. Forget the rail, she didn't slide it, she flew it. Nothing but air. "No way," he muttered to himself. Of course, looking at it, he could see why she didn't ride it. This handrail was what his dad would have called a hurtin' unit. Ever since one Mr. Charles Spahue, eldest resident of F Complex of the Hathimont retirement home, had taken his accidental joyride up over the curb and down those stairs in his 1966 Oldsmobile. Mr. Spahue's behemoth had uprooted the entire rail and dragged it all the way across the lower parking lot, spraying sparks the whole way, until man, machine, and handrail plowed into the stump of the giant tree they'd cut down when Bobby was still in elementary school, and then came to serve as the pedestal for the sign marking the entrance to the entire retirement complex. Bizarrely, rather than replacing the damn thing, they had reassembled its broken corpse and installed it back on the stairs. Bobby's dad said something about liability and insurance and wrangling and whatever. "Bro, are you going or what?" shouted Monkey. Bobby shouted back, "Hang on, I'm gearing up, man." His eyes flicked to the permanent yard sign standing atop two spindly pelican legs off to his left. It simply showed the letter F, denoting the complex on that side of him. And it was only then that Bobby realized the confluence of coincidence that surrounded this spot. The Holy Grail had been renamed the Frail in honor of the complex on which it stood. The rail itself now was quite frail, thanks to Mr. Spahue's Oldsmobile, and not 60 seconds ago he himself, with his own eyes, he could admit in the privacy of his own brain, had witnessed a Frail, an old woman, take that staircase and put it in her pocket. She ate that rail for lunch. She's got to be bionic or something, he thought. What he didn't know was that this particular Frail, and yes, she knew they called her that, was the reason they could skate this spot without security chasing them off. Owner and voluntary resident of Hathimont Retirement Center, Mrs. Kathleen Montague, had finagled the installation of those stairs and this rail in the first place, specifically for this purpose. Mrs. Montague had many secrets, this being the very least of them. "Screw it," Bobby said, dropped the nose of his board to the pavement, and headed towards his doom. Watching from beside the giant stump that used to carry the entryway sign, Mrs. Kathleen Montague smiled a mysterious smile.